So, Funko Fusion has released, and in this video we're going to be going through if I believe it's worth playing or not. And what I've done with this video is separated it into the likes and dislikes. We're going to be going through the likes first, and I'm going to start with the fact that if you've played any Lego game, this is somewhat similar to those. You go around smashing up different breakables and stuff. Pretty much everything is breakable in the game. You smash them all up, you collect your currency. In Lego games it'd be studs. In this, I believe they're called vinyls. You've got a bunch of different playable characters, there's loads of different levels and things. And when it comes to the world design, it seems as though a lot of attention has gone into the world building. The levels look very good. There's a lot of different areas to them. I also like how when you're, for an example, playing the Hot Fuzz world, level 1 will be in one part of the village they've built up, then level 2 will carry on from that, but basically it's a continuation to go through a story within each of these worlds. Another thing I like about the game is you unlock free play after you complete a level, which allows you to go back into that same level and collect any secrets and collectibles and things that you may have missed. And then we have when you unlock new worlds to play in, you don't have to keep running up and down stairs because basically you have what's essentially a world hub. What you can do instead is go to the middle of the room. There's this air elevator, that's what I'm going to call it. And you can basically just float up and down there. And that's going to let you get really, really easy, quick access to other worlds if you want to switch it up and play something different. There's also a lot of replayability thanks to the secrets and stuff and the fact that you can go in free play and you can play with characters from different universes and stuff when you have completed a level. And then I also in the game you've got silver crowns, gold crowns. Gold crowns basically unlock new worlds. For an example, if you start with Hot Fuzz, to unlock your next world, you're going to have a gold crown. Gold crowns are collected when you complete a level. However, you also have silver crowns, which can be found in chests and stuff as you're going through levels, and 6 silver crowns are going to convert into a gold crown. So it really helps out to explore when you're playing the game because the more silver crowns you get, the more you can turn them into gold crowns and unlock new worlds to play in. The best thing about the crown system and how it works is that after completing the Hot Fuzz world, it took maybe 3 hours or so to do that. After completing it, I had enough crowns, gold crowns, to unlock 3 new worlds. So I wasn't forced to make a choice of which world to play next that I might have ended up getting bored of or even totally regretting and not playing the game anymore. But then that is pretty much about it for the likes towards this game. I do like the attention they've put into the game worlds and things like that, but other than what I've mentioned, there really isn't much going for this game. So we're going to jump into the dislikes that I have, and I will say there's probably around double the amount of dislikes as to what there are likes. So we're going to start off with, I believe they are going to fix this one, but there is currently a bug in the game that unlocks end game achievements the moment you load the game for the very first time. So it would seem as though testing and stuff didn't go any further than splash screens and stuff. They wouldn't have even got to the main menu during testing when it comes to the achievements, because you get a lot of achievements the moment you load the game. I don't know if it's the same on console, but that's what happens on PC. I played this game through Steam. But it's not only when you load the game. When you go around the game worlds and you find a collectible, what this game's going to do is trigger the entire achievement to say that you've collected all of them. It doesn't give you progress towards an achievement. You literally find one little collectible, it says that you found every one that's available in the game. And while that's not a biggie, that's still an issue with the game, and it needs fixing. It shouldn't even be in the game to fucking start with, if I'm being completely honest. But it needs fixing urgently because it's still a bummer. It's still going to annoy people, even if it's not something major. There are major things that are wrong with this game as well. Like this one, for an example. There are lots, and I can't stress enough how much emphasis I need to put on lots. There are lots and lots and lots of assets in this game that are completely missing. They are invisible assets. For an example, the conveyor belts. You may get the beginning and the end of the conveyor belt, but the rest of it doesn't exist. And it's the exact same when you are facing the main boss in the final level of Hot Fuzz, like the Hot Fuzz world, except it's not conveyor belts in that area, it's the buildings in the little village thing they create, the miniature town or whatever. And it's not just the fact that they are missing assets, it makes your experience really bad, because at the same time you can't see them, they still have collision enabled, so you constantly get stuck. It's like facing a million invisible walls. And it wasn't just once I experienced this, it wasn't just the main final boss of the Hot Fuzz world, it was also in the cameo world of Chucky. There were a load of conveyor belts, but it's also in the World Hub at the start of the game too. And then, talking of main bosses at the end of Worlds, the bosses in this game suck. At the start of the game, the very beginning, you're going to fight like a gigantic foxo. And then, again, when you have pulled yourself through 5 levels, the entire world of Hot Fuzz, the final main boss, he's gigantic again, like the Foxo, has almost the exact same mechanics. You basically shoot gooey parts on his body, he drops orbs, you collect them, go put them in a machine. After you get 30 of them, it summons a bigger version of one of your companions for the level or something. Them two have a fight, you deal extra damage to the big dude, and that is it. Both the very beginning boss in the game, like the practice tutorial boss, and the main end of world bosses are basically the same. And that's not just from a design point of view, that's from mechanics as well. And then, as I mentioned in the likes, you may unlock free play after you complete a level, but then there are problems that come with the free play in this game, because you have to complete the entire thing all over again, including bosses. So it's not actually true free play. You can't just go into levels and find all the missing secrets and everything. You have to play through the story of that world all over again. And as well as that, including bosses and storylines and stuff for the worlds, that also includes your secrets. For an example, if you're collecting plants like you do in one of the Hot Fuzz levels, and you end the level 1 plant short of unlocking the chest or opening the chest, the next time you enter that level, you are going to have 0 progress. And it's the same for machines. There's basically machines you need to fill up with vinyls. And for an example, one of them, you need 100,000, or you might need 85,000 vinyls to put into these machines. If you put in, say, 25,000, leave the level, go back in, they don't count. You have to get every single one in that playthrough, that run of that level, or it doesn't count. And it wouldn't be a problem, but what that does is forces you to spend way longer than needed in some of the levels. And the vinyl in this game is really tight. You're not going to have a lot left over when you've filled one of these machines up and got your silver crown. And yes, I know you can do multiple runs of the same level, but that's not the point. I would like to go into a level and try and get all secrets whilst I'm in that one run. And the reason I say it like that is because there is a chance of you messing up the Silver Crown machine if you buy too many molds during that run, if you buy grenades and health items and things from the other vending machines. You're probably gonna, quite often in the game, have to do specific runs for those Silver Crown machines. And I just don't like the way they were designed. You should have a lot more vinyls available in the levels, or the machine shouldn't have as much of a requirement, the cost shouldn't be that high. And another thing that was actually quite frustrating with the game is when you basically go into a new level, you will keep all of your offensive items. So if you've managed to find a weapon in a chest or something, say you've paid 3,000 vinyls to unlock a golden chest, you've got a weapon, those weapons will stay with you, they will go into other levels. But when it comes to healing items, whether it be the cans that give you a little bit of health or the bottles that fully replenish all of your health, they will not go through with you. So offensive weapons do, health items don't, which makes no sense. And health items are actually way more important than offensive items. And then this is quite a big one. I'd say one of the biggest. The game is supposed to be online co-op, playable with your friends. And you can tell it's supposed to be that way by the pinging system they have in the game. But yeah, online co-op was delayed before release, so it's currently a single-player game. And then also, to unlock new characters outside of your base set, so basically when you go into Hot Fuzz, you'll have 4 playable characters from that franchise. And I think it's the same for every other franchise as well. But to unlock new characters outside of your base set, you have to do a lot of grinding. And again, emphasis on a lot. For an example, you have Chucky, and when you first find him, he'll tell you to go and find him in other worlds. And what he means by that is that you will only unlock access to him as a playable character when you find him across all 7 of the major playable worlds. I found him in the Hot Fuzz world. He was like a cameo level, whatever you want to call it. After I defeated him, he said, come find me in other worlds. I went back to the World Hub, went into the secret room where you can see your Chucky collectible waiting there, and it says 1 out of 7. You have to find him in 7 different worlds before you can play as the Chucky character. And not only that, but this game is possibly going to get a lot more worlds added into the game and characters as well. But they will more than likely be added through the form of DLC, like their $10 Walking Dead character pack. And the reason that's a bad thing is because you get 2 playable characters and 2 variants when The Walking Dead doesn't even have its own major world in this game. So they've probably set it up so that you get Rick, you get Michonne, and they will eventually release a Walking Dead world. Or they've probably got cameo worlds or something where you get like one little level within the game that's based around The Walking Dead. And yes, I know if you pre-ordered the game, you would have got that character pack, but 2 characters for like £9, when the game is £42, the entire game is £42, they're charging £9 for 2 characters. When it comes to expansions, character packs are probably all going to be around the same price, and if they're creating new worlds, then, I don't know, you could be looking at £20 per world or something like that. But not only that, the game has had an awful release. It's seen around 540 concurrent players as a peak on Steam. So the whole of Steam worldwide, this game hasn't even hit 550 concurrent players. And I'm going to say actually, a small factor of that is probably that this is basically a console game. The PC port isn't the greatest at all. They recommend you play with a controller. So I don't know what the numbers are like on console. There could be way more. But on Steam, it's had one of the worst launches in a little while. It's not even hit 600. It's not even hit 550 concurrent players at the time of release. And it released on a Friday as well, so at the weekend where there's more people willing to play games, or more people that can free up time to play games. And then, in the description of the game, they claim that characters have their own special moves. And I've also seen content creators that really pissed me off watching some videos before the game released. I've seen content creators saying that each character feels really unique and the combat's smooth. Yeah, bullshit. You have a light attack, which you can infinitely combo, making combat far too easy in the game. Every character has a slam move that all feel very, very similar. All you have to do is jump and attack. And most of the charged melee attacks are very similar too. The only difference in your ranged combat is some is explosive, some weapons are full auto, some are single shot. Oh, and the character you get for completing Hot Fuzz has infinite ammo, which doesn't actually change the combat. So yeah, combat gets very boring, repetitive, tedious. And that's after playing the game for about 3 hours or so. And then, as I said, the game is recommended to be played on a controller. I've seen people saying that you can't even properly rebind keys on a keyboard. But even playing on a controller, which, as I've said, is recommended. Make sure you pay attention to that. It's recommended to play on a controller. And yeah, that doesn't feel good. The sensitivity feels really off. And it also seems as though your bullets always end up firing to the left of the crosshair, which makes ranged combat quite a bit awkward and oftentimes actually frustrating. You're trying to shoot at an enemy, your bullets are going off to the left-hand side of the enemy, so you're missing, so you have to adjust your aim. Then by that time they've got closer to you, and then the camera gets all funky and makes it really hard to actually hit your shots and kill enemies. And then pretty much my last point, there's a god-awful, and I mean it's really, really bad, there is a stamina system in this game. And it's not the fact that there's a stamina system. I don't mind stamina systems in games. But it's the fact that running and dodging is going to use your stamina, but melee attacks and jumping don't. Which is why I said you can basically infinitely combo light attacks against enemies. Because stamina isn't used when you're attacking. But not only that, they've created this world hub thing where you go into all your different levels and through the different franchises, and stamina is being used to run around there too. So say you're running around with a character, you're trying to go up the little portal thing in the middle to get to a different world, and you want to run, you want to go check the secret character that you've made progress towards in that world, and then you want to run to the next level you're going to play. You are going to hear your character start panting and struggling to breathe, and you're going to have to end up walking part of the way because their stamina system is, I'm going to say, absolutely fucking dreadful. I say just take stamina out of the game entirely. There's absolutely no need for it, especially when running and dodging uses stamina, but attacking and jumping doesn't. It makes zero sense. Just remove it from the game. And then to wrap this one up, for £40 or £42, which is what they are charging for this game, to answer the question, is it worth playing? For that price, absolutely not. It's only worth playing at all if you are a huge fan of games like this, so similar to Lego games. Even if you're a gigantic Funko Pop fan, I would still say this game needs to be way cheaper than the price they're asking for it. Because pretty much anyone that plays, I guarantee you're going to see flaws within this game. based on the first hour of gameplay. So my recommendation, because this is not a do not buy video, is I recommend waiting for a sale. If you can get this game 40-50% off, that would be when I say absolutely snap it up, because overall it's an okay game. Like, it's a video game, so it's got that going for it, I suppose. As I said, the worlds within the game are very well thought of. Like, there's a lot of attention that's been put into them. There's loads of different characters to play as. There's loads of different worlds and franchises to be a part of. But on the same hand, there's a lot of bugs and issues and pricing and stuff that needs to be sorted out, because they're charging £40 for the entire game. And then if you didn't pre-order it, it's £9 for 2 characters. And I've got a feeling these are going to want to add a lot of playable characters and worlds into the game over time, providing they do continue development, because it had such a bad launch. Again, I don't know console numbers, but Steam, yeah, it didn't go well for them at all. And I will say this, the game does have decent performance. I mean, I'm playing on a very high-end PC, but there was no frame drops or lag or anything like that at all. But something else I have heard is that there are soft lock bugs, so basically that means there's a chance you could be near the end of a level and something won't work, which would get you to completion of that level, and then upon restarting the entire level from the beginning, there is a chance that it will work and there's also a chance that it won't. So the reason I'm saying it's not worth playing is because I feel it's far too expensive for what it is. There are loads of bugs and stuff they need to sort out, and a lot of the mechanics and stuff in the game, especially like the stamina system, it shouldn't be in there at all. I think they've done very well with the worlds and the characters and the franchises, but that's pretty much about it. Which would make it seem as though this was supposed to be a console game that was released to make money based on the hype of trends. So that is my opinion and my thoughts on is it worth playing Funko Fusion. And what we are going to do is leave that video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about this game in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.